Guys, it is me, Toffee Dog, and I am doing a slightly different video today. Or for my case tonight, it's nearly 8 o'clock and I'm recording this because we have had some brilliant UUs on Pokemon Sun and Moon and some things have fallen off my bed. But let's ignore that for now because I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the latest Pokemon that has or have been released. So, the first Pokemon that has been, well, not the first one, but the first one I saw in the trailer. The first Pokemon I saw in this trailer is a Pokemon, I do apologise if I pronounce this wrong, I'm quite bad with names, I'm not gonna lie, is Passimion. So this is the one that should be up on the screen now. I'll be talking throughout while you guys can look at this lovely image of this new Pokemon. So this Pokemon, to me, I love its design. I love how they have smoothly incorporated the melon or the fruit that it's holding in its right front arm, just to give you an idea. And I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting it to be grass type when I first saw the image, but for it to be fighting type is a good moveset because we do have other Pokemon that are fighting types that aren't necessarily what animals we'd think they'd be. So, for example, kangaroo, we expect fighting type. But I really like this typing. It's nice to have unique typings that may surprise people. I find it's better to have, unique typings than to have one. For example, it could have been normal grass, which would have been not predictable. But if I had looked and guessed, that would be my first opinion. So, fighting type. We don't currently I'm looking at the image and to me it looks like it's based on a lemur of some sort. I don't think it's a ring-tailed lemur. I might be wrong, and if it is, good. Because of its coloration, I think it has something to do with a lemur. But I feel like they've incorporated this fruit specifically if it is a lemur for one reason. Now I don't know whether in tropical regions do melons grow alongside the places lemurs live. So I don't have any background information to support my theory, but I think there's a reason they evolved the fruit. And the best thing about how they incorporated this fruit, its fainting animation. So what happens during this fainting animation is it basically trips up on the melon it is holding, and it is just a nice, it is really well done, it's amazing. If you guys want to check it out, I'll link the original trailer down below so you can have a better idea of what I'm talking about. But yes, I found the animation probably the best part of the Pokemon, which it probably shouldn't be, probably should be the design, but I really like the helmet or the headpiece going on, half melon, and you've got leaves here. It definitely gives a very tropical feel to the Pokemon, which makes a nice link, which is very suitable to the Pokemon in general, because I mean, this is the Alola region, it's a tropical region. So, let's have a look at the next Pokemon. Pokemon I will be talking about is Pokemon on the left. This is the image I found of the two main monkey Pokemon. Not the main one, sorry, the monkey Pokemon from this trailer. Now the one on the left is called Orangura, and obviously the one on the right is the one I've just talked about. Now this Pokemon, again, the typing, well not again, the typing is my favourite part because what's great about this typing, it is normal psychic. Now, at first I was worried it was going to cause problems, but actually this gives it a slightly good advantage because its normal type isn't going to affect its type advantages or not, because it's not going to be knocked out by fighting types because it's going to have the psychic secondary typing. So that fighting type is pretty much going to do nothing to this Pokemon, and it can counter its weakness. Now we do have other weaknesses like Bug, which psychic, and that's not going to tackle it. Normal, dark, again, not going to tackle it. Ghost, I believe, super effective. That's not going to cover it. But actually, I think that's pretty cool to have a normal typing. Normally, normal types are given to bird Pokemon, which is understandable because they're bird Pokemon. And I'll go into Pokemon who generally have a weakness to normal type, but this is my favourite part about the Pokemon because it already counteracts its first typing just by having a secondary one. That makes no sense in my mind. But what's special about these two Pokemon is that Oranguru is the region exclusive to Pokemon Moon, and the other one, whose name I've already forgotten, I apologise, will be exclusive to Pokemon Sun. Now, as I said before, I'm saving up for Pokemon Moon. I'm hoping to get Pokemon Sun, but honestly, I'll be more than happy to get this Pokemon, Oranguru. I think another thing I really like about this Pokemon is the star on its head. It's such a small thing, but I think it makes a nice link to the other game, Pokemon Sun. Now, I don't believe we have any indication on the other Pokemon of the opposite game. This could be just a random design, not a random design choice. It could be just a design choice that just so happens to link in with the other game, or it could be intentional. If it was intentional, that's pretty cool. Another part of this Pokemon I really liked, which I couldn't put my finger on at first, was its colouring. Now, you guys should know I love purple. So if a Pokemon's going to come out and it's purple, like an Aranguru's cape-like thing it's wearing, I don't know whether it's a cape or whether it's actually part of its skin, part of its body. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. But I just love the colour typing. We've got gold or yellow, you've got green, white, purple and grey. You've only got a few colour schemes, but that's really nice. It gives I guess my favourite part of the Pokemon was because it's based on orangutan who's conventionally orange. It's nice that Pokemon has taken the colour scheme from the original source, or what I believe to be the original source, and has just made it totally different, which I love to see. I mean, I love to see Pokemon that clearly reflect the basis of their design choice, where they came from. Like, maybe it's a draft Pokemon, the same colour scheme, but I think it's nice. It's a nice, refreshing Pokemon. I think that's the word I'm looking for. A nice, refreshing Pokemon to look at. It's just very pleasant to look at. And I think it makes a nice association to its original starting point as orangutan. Now, I don't know. I don't believe these guys are going to get pre-evolutions, and if they don't, that is perfectly alright, because I think they're great standalone Pokemon as they are, and I would not be upset if they're just like this. I don't know where we're going to find them. I presume from the background we're going to find them in the forest. I'm hoping that we're going to find them maybe on the second and third island, roughly. I don't really want to wait too long to get these guys because they look so awesome. Hopefully the second or third island that you go to, because we know there's 4 general islands in this game, and they're going to be divided up. Or they could be the totem Pokemon that you have to fight at the end. You never know, they might be. I mean, if they were, brilliant. So let's move on to the next 2 Pokemon, or the next 2 forms of a certain evolution. Pokemon here is very unique. For one reason, this is Rockruff's evolution. This is a Pokemon that we saw in the October Koro release, which I didn't know about. I had to look at the article, but because obviously I can't read the language, I had no idea what it meant. I thought this might be a Rockruff evolution, but I didn't want to get my hopes up. Well, not my hopes up, I didn't want to think ahead. I wanted to wait until the official Pokemon came out with a trailer like they do. Koro releases something a little while later. Pokemon releases a trailer of these Pokemon. Now this again is a game exclusive. So we have 2 different forms for this Pokemon, which they're both very unique to each game, but they're also very fitting to both games. Okay, Lycanroc, I think I said that right, is Pokemon Sun's evolution to Rockruff, which is one of the cutest rock type Pokemon I've seen, and also the cutest dog type Pokemon. I know there's loads of dog type Pokemon and they're all sweet, and I want to hug them all, but this one probably would top it for me. So this one's Pokemon Sun. I love this one because it captures. I personally think it looks like a wolf. I've always wanted a wolf Pokemon. There have been Pokemon that have been based on wolves, but it hasn't been 100% clear in their design. Their design has reflected some features of a wolf. but not to the point where it's obvious it is. Now this might not be based off a wolf. I'm pretty sure it is. If it's not, then okay, based off a dog, brilliant still. But I love wolves to pieces. I love wolves. I love tigers. I love sort of the big carnivores. I love them to pieces. So to have a Pokemon that is like this is brilliant. The only thing that's not so brilliant is I'm getting Pokemon Moon, and hopefully I'll get Pokemon Sun as well. But this is making me want to buy Pokemon Sun so much more, but then there's so many other points making me want to buy Pokemon Moon. It's really difficult. If you're someone who can only afford or buy one, this is going to be so tricky to choose between two games. Because what I love about these games is they've changed so many things in between the versions, like Pokemon exclusives. It makes it worth it to get both games. It always has been, but it makes it even more worthwhile to get both copies, to play both of them, and having unique experience, which is what I hope to have. I'm so excited for these games now. But let's move on to the next form of Rockruff Evolution. I don't think I have much more to say about this Pokemon. Instead, I love it. I don't think I can pinpoint what specifically. It's got a sort of cuteness, but also toughness to it as well. It's a nice balance. But anyway, let's move on to the final Pokemon that was revealed in this trailer, and final, or the second evolution to Rockruff. Right, so this is the second evolution for Rockruff. Apologies, my chair squeaking. This is the one for Pokemon Moon, which is the version I'm getting, and this one is a normal rock type. But look at that glare. Look at how creepy it is, but at the same time how cool it is. It's got the coolness of Pokemon Sun's version, but it's got this eeriness to it that I really like. And it also reminds me a little bit of a hyena. I'm not quite sure what it is. I think it's the grin or the teeth that's making me think it's, well, not think, reminds me of hyena. But I love its hairdo. I mean, my favourite Pokemon's Staraptor, and he's got a pretty cool hair, dude. So, hairdo. He's got a pretty cool hairstyle. And I just love this design. I wasn't sure whether they would be able to create a standing up dog Pokemon that would look good, but they have done it. They have done a nice balance between having a one that may stand on two legs and just making it look natural. I think that's the thing I feared the most, was if they were going to make it look natural, but this certainly does. But this Pokemon also reminds me a bit of a werewolf. I think that's because of the glowing eyes, and the colour schemes will be completely different to conventional werewolves, which are pretty much the same colours as normal wolves. But I don't know, I do prefer Pokemon Sun's one just because it reminds me more of a wolf. But I really like this one, and I really like how they have done these unique evolutions. I mean, the only one we can compare it to is Eevee, and well, Eevee has, oh gosh, I'm not going to bother counting, has quite a few evolutions of nearly every type. We're not getting one in this generation, but that's okay. You know, we had Sylveon in X and Y, so we got that E1, or relatively E1. I am perfectly happy with not having evolution. But I think it's very hard for any designer to come up with a evolution, especially to such a well-known Pokemon as Eevee. And Eevee is very well known for its evolutions. So to have to come up with a design, an idea for one, must be really difficult. And I completely understand why they either haven't been able to do it or haven't chose to do it. But yes, those are my thoughts on these Pokemon. I'm so excited about these games. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little video of me talking about my opinions and my first impressions of these Pokemon. But honestly, all of these I really like. I don't think I have a favourite. It might actually be oh, actually, let's not choose because this is going to be really tricky. I'm going to be here for many more minutes trying to decide which is my favourite. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I hope to do more like this just so I can talk a lot more, because if I'm watching a trailer, it's great, I can react to a trailer. But with this kind of video, I can talk and I can just ramble on and not have to worry about people saying, unpause the video, please, we need to see the rest like you. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. and I hope to do another one soon. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.